Okay, my sixth grade friends. So I put down a white piece of paper so you could see my little cutout better. And like I said yesterday, or showed you yesterday, you're gonna pick one side and you're gonna start from the corner. So right in this corner here is where you're gonna begin. And you're gonna draw just an organic line that ends on the side, okay? You're gonna draw an organic line that ends on the side, and then you're gonna use your scissors, and you can see it a little bit better when it's up close. I know it's hard to see with pencil, and if you don't already know, because I know I talk about this quite a bit. Oh, I already made a mistake, guys. I forgot. You're supposed to put an X. Oops, broke my lead. Put an X on the piece that you are cutting off, and then your name. On the other side. Okay. So some of you may have already done this step already, but just make sure that you have done it correctly. So we're just going to review how to do that. Now, some of you, I've already gotten emails about how you don't have any tape. Well, that's all right. Okay, so remember that this corner, okay, this side has to go onto the longer side. Okay, and there's a reason for that because it's going to be the same length. So, and all you have to do is tape those together. Now, if you don't have masking tape, any type of tape will work as long as it's together. Okay, so the kind of tape that I have in my house is washi tape, which is just, you know, just masking tape. So I always like to flip it over first like this and make sure that I've got it stuck. Yeah. Make sure I got it lined up correctly. And then you stick it together. Now the extra washi tape, we can use it to adhere it to our paper. Okay, we can make our loop. Now if you look at my, make our little loop, save that over here. If you look at mine, I have some excess coming off the edges. So the best thing to do for that is to cut off your excess tape. Okay. Now, using the back part of your scissors is the easiest way to do it. Okay, so then there you go. You have all of your stuff cut up and you are ready to begin. Now, the next thing that you're going to need to do before you continue on, I'm going to put that over there, is you need to turn your paper into a square. Okay, so if you don't already know how to turn your paper into a square, I'm going to go over that now. Now, if you have the sketchbook paper, let me zoom out a little bit more. If you have the sketchbook paper that I provided for you, then you already know, you already have the paper you need. So just take one of the papers in there and fold it into a square, just like if we were making snowflakes or, you know, those cootie catchers, fortune teller things, whatever you kids are calling them these days. You make your square. Now, a little trick that I learned how to make this a perfect square is you fold it back the other way. Okay, and then that's going to make a perfect edge for your square. You make sure you check it. No. Open it up. And now you have a line to cut on. Now I know in school, if we were in school, then I would have already cut the paper for you. I know. But we're not in school, so we have to use what we have. Okay. So I'm folding it again because I want to find the center of our paper. And that's going to be important for the drawing portion. Okay, so now we have an X in our paper. And that's going to be important on how we line all of this up. So the next thing that we're going to do is you're going to take the flat side, point it up, okay? And you're going to put that to where it lines up with your corner. Now, it doesn't have to line up perfectly, but you want it to be where the point at least is in the center. And now this is where the washi tape comes in, or the tape comes into play. And I didn't have it on the back here, so I got to reset my paper. Again, keep it up as flat, or however you want to do it. And I'm going to line up my piece. Now the tape on the back helps keep the piece in place. So I'm going to very carefully trace around my shape. And don't worry if it's not perfect. That's something you can refine later. Then you carefully pull that off. Now the next thing you do is you flip over the next side and you line up the flat side of your paper, or of your stencil, to the flat side, okay? And then you trace it again. And it does matter if they aren't perfectly lined up. The idea is that you want to be as lined up as close as you can. Now, the next step, okay, you take your piece and you see how it fits inside there perfectly. And then you trace it again. Oops, looks like I missed a spot. All right, and you do that step again, where the flat side connects together. You guys know I'm a big fan of turning the paper where it needs to be turned. And then we line it up again. And we line it up one final time. And now mine ended up having a triangular shape in the center, and that is perfectly fine that it ended up like that. Now, the next steps that you do is you take your shape and you line it up like this. And you keep tracing your shape until your paper is full. And you are going to end up with you're going to end up going off your paper. okay? That's supposed to happen, all right? You're gonna end up drawing off of your paper, not on purpose, it's just, that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to go all the way to the edge of your paper with this project. Make sure you're touching the sides where you need to be. And you fit your piece where it belongs, just kind of like a puzzle piece. And you just follow your shape. And sometimes you have to redraw your shape a little bit. Okay. Now, like I said, you're gonna end up going off the edge of your paper. That is what you're supposed to do. There's that. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't draw my line across the top. Oop, I gotta line it up right now. Okay. And that one ended up with a perfect spiral because that's how the points work. Okay. I didn't drop there. All right. Flat side. Now after a while you might need to replace the tape on the back so that if it loses its stickiness completely. And you know, it can get confusing, so I'm completely understanding if you get a little confused on how to draw this. Like it's gonna happen, and it's okay that it does. Okay? So as I said, you just keep going around your shape until you have your paper completely filled up. And as you can tell also, it depends on how you draw your shape. It depends on how it's going to turn out. So you may end up with shapes inside like this, or you may not have any shapes at all. And it's either way is fine. It's just an extra decorative element that showed up on yours, and there's nothing wrong with that. And some of you might think, you know, do I need to cut my paper into a square? Can I just do it as a big rectangle? If you want to, I'm not going to tell you no. That is up to you if you want to go and do that extra step where your artwork is bigger because you chose to do it on a bigger piece of paper. That is completely up to you, and I will allow you to do that. That is a more challenging project though, and there you go. So that's all you need to do for me today is make sure you have your shape right. If you got to redo it, it's okay. And then trace your shape all around it. See, I'll bring it up closer. You can see I've traced it all over my paper, all the way to the edges, okay? And that's going to be important for our coloring in tomorrow.